What's up, you guys? This is NateFNGreat from the Game Changer podcast. So you'll definitely notice with this interview, it is a little bit of a mixed, wishy-washy kind of interview, and there was some interruptions as well as a technical difficulty on my part that unfortunately really made this podcast interview a bit of a nightmare, but at the same time, it was very awesome to talk with Dave Herro and a lot of things that he's gone through as a promoter. It's a really awesome interview, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Just please, by all means, bear with me when it comes to the audio quality within the last 11 minutes of the podcast, because I was actually having to do it from my phone because my iPad decided not to work with me. So there's that. There's a little bit of an interruption here and there, but in all honesty, it's a great interview, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So I do apologize in advance for the quality of the interview, but I hope you guys will still enjoy it just the same. So guys, here it is, the interview with Dave Herro from this past season's beatings up in Merrill, Wisconsin. What is up, you guys? My name is NateFNGreat, and welcome to the Game Changer podcast, and I'm very fortunate to be here with somebody who is honestly a myth, a legend here in Wisconsin, one of the best promoters, in all honesty, here, Mr. Dave Herro. Dave, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming out to the frozen tundra of Merrill, Wisconsin tonight.
Well, honestly, it's one of the, I think it's the third show that you've had.
Yeah, it's our third show this year. Who would have thought?
Honestly, I don't think a lot of people would have figured that, Merrill would host a wrestling show 3 times.
No, I certainly didn't.
And honestly, they've had some pretty good turnouts for the most part. Yeah. I've been really surprised by that.
Well, I mean, we've had Ken Anderson and Al Snow and Gangrel and Hornswoggle, the legendary Baron Von Raschke. Now, tonight we have Road Warrior Animal. Yeah, so we're bringing some Hall of Famers to town.
Yeah, you hit a sweet tooth when you mentioned one half of my favorite tag team.
They're fantastic.
Although to be honest, Will kind of took it as a different way. I was like, oh, dude, thank you so much. It's like, oh, yeah, you and Animal.
Oh, there we go. Sure. Hey, who did Will ever beat? Nobody.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, exactly.
So when it came to this interview, there were so many things that were going through my head, and I've heard so many people saying, like, oh, he's going to have, stories to tell. He's going to have so much great stuff. So, honestly, starting from the beginning, what got you so interested in the world of professional wrestling?
It's funny because driving up here with Animal, I was telling him, I go, for me, the first show I ever went to with my dad, I was 6, 7 years old. I hated it. Hated everything about it. Really? Loud, obnoxious, screaming, violent. And then one day I want to say, I don't know how old I was, but I'm going to say 6th grade. So do the math. However old you were in 6th grade, that's how old I was. I'm watching, and I see the Iron Sheik defeat Bob Backlund for the WWF Championship. I was like, damn, Iron Sheik is jacked. I've never seen a guy like the Iron Sheik before. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. It's kind of cool. That was on a Saturday night. The next week, I'm going through all the channels trying to find the Iron Sheik again. And I came across Georgia Championship Wrestling and the Road Warriors. And I was like, oh, my God. I mean, for me, I'm born and raised in Grafton, Wisconsin. Population 10,000 people. We don't have a hawk or an animal ever in Grafton. And I was hooked. The Road Warriors and the Iron Sheik are the ones that got me hooked. And, the Road Warriors, obviously one of the, if not the greatest tag team of all time. Just, legend. I mean, legendary. At the time, it was Hulk Hogan as the greatest singles and Warriors as the best tag team. And I got to work with Hawk and Animal a few times when I had a wrestling store in Milwaukee and Shorewood, Wisconsin, called Hero Sports Page. And just, timing was everything for me. As I grew up, I was a fan, and then I became, still a fan, getting involved in the business. I wound up doing a show on ESPN radio in Milwaukee called Heroes Squared Circle Report. That then morphed into the Pro Wrestling Report on Sinclair Broadcast TV with Damian Nelson. And then, in between there, I had Great Lakes Championship Wrestling. So, I mean, for me, it's just childhood dreams, and, I've been fortunate enough to say that I've been able to chase down those dreams and make them a reality for me.
So growing up, obviously, even for me, I still feel like I'm growing up with wrestling and just having these nostalgic moments of meeting the legends or meeting people that I've just absolutely grew up with for so many years. Was there ever a time when you were growing up meeting a wrestler where you were just kind of awestruck?
Hulk Hogan. And
really?
I was in my late 20s then. Maybe even my early 30s. It was WrestleMania 21 in California when he went to the Hall of Fame that year, and holy shit, it's Hulk Hogan. I mean, it's the guy that, you know, I said my prayers and ate my vitamins because I wanted to be just like him. You know what I mean? And, yeah, that was the one time definitely. And I'm sure there's been others, you know, because you don't know how to, you know, it's larger than life personalities, these guys. And they're just huge. They're like, they're whoops. You want to pause that?
One of the beautiful things about recording in an arena is that you never know what you're going to expect.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that Jitterbug song is my bane of my existence. I hear it all the time. And of course, it's Cal's theme song. I'm like, of course, the one song I could not stand as a kid.
So obviously...
Well, first of all, let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. We were rudely interrupted by Cousin Jack. Right? He came in here, he saw we were doing business, good business, trying to be professional, and he has to come in here and, you know... Yeah, so I apologize for all that.
It's not a problem. Hey, it's one of those things where if you remember when I was doing my interview with Colucci, you guys came in. You guys
Absolutely.
Were, you guys,
I was quiet.
No, you were.
I was very quiet.
I acknowledged it, but it was in also like the respectful manner because you guys, you know, were just coming in, just did a little fist bump, and that was about it.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, for him, it was just like, oh, we got people coming in here. Mm-hmm. So, I think honestly, maybe that should be the next step. No, I'll ask that question a little later. But obviously, with you being, you know, starstruck, something sparked you to obviously start a promotion, and now you have this, you know, well-known promotion in GLCW. So what was kind of like the start of this promotion?
GLCW?
Yes.
Great Lakes Championship Wrestling? 1996, I had my Store Hero Sports page in Shorewood, and a local independent wrestler by the name of Colonel Corruption, one half of the militia, came into my store and said, hey, everything about getting into the pro wrestling business, doing shows. I'm like, always wanted to. So we sat down, we talked, we brainstormed for a little while, and said, yeah, let's do this. I mean, I have with the radio show and the store, I have, you know, access to getting the word out and promote. And we're like, well, let's come up with a name. And we're like, Great Lakes Championship Wrestling, because, hey, we're surrounded by nothing but Great Lakes. You know what I mean? And it worked great. GLCW, our first show was in 1997, I believe. The headliner was the Brooklyn Brawler, Steve Lombardi. And then after that, we just consistently were growing the brand. I mean, at one point, we ran a show where Mick Foley, Mankind, while he was in the WWEF at the time, became the GLCW Heavyweight Champion.
Really?
So, and we've had the who's who for champions. We've had Mick Foley, we've had Scrap Iron Adam Pearce, we've had the Iron Sheik, we've had King Kong Bundy, we've had X-Pac, Al Snow, Armando Estrada, Robbie E., Al Snow, Hornswoggle. I mean, it's Ken Anderson. So we've had some pretty kick-ass GLCW heavyweight champions.
No, you definitely have. And with a lineage like that, it definitely does give your brand a little bit more notoriety because obviously, you know, it's like, hey, these guys who are well-known now, they used to wrestle with you guys.
Well, and here's what it is. So let's say you're going to go to a GLCW show. And you're going to go online and you're going to be like, well, who's all going to be there? And you see, at one point, Demolition was my tag team champions. Serena Deeb was my ladies champ. ODB ladies champ. Oh, shit, whatever. I've seen them on TV. I know who that is. Oh, my God, they're going to be there? It's credibility for the brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in that way, it's like, oh, okay, if I go to a county fair, well, who's your champion? Oh, it's Al Snow. Oh, I remember him. Oh, it's, King Kong Bundy. Oh, my God, I saw him beat up Hulk Hogan. You know, it's just little things like that the perception is reality in the world of pro wrestling.
No, definitely. So one thing that I've definitely noticed is that obviously, as time goes on, you do start establishing either relationships or you start building friendships with a lot of these people. So my question is, who was kind of the first person that you started getting a more than just a professional relationship, actually?
It was probably DDP, Dallas Page.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I've known Dallas. Dallas was the first guy to put his name on me back in 97, you know, and then him and Mick Foley. And then, just by being at the shows and doing different promotional things, I got to meet Al Snow. He's my best friend. Kevin Nash was like my big brother. Road Dogg and Billy and Gold. I mean, I've been very blessed. I have a lot of people that I can call, you know, my friends. Mean Gene Oakland was like one of my closest friends. And I've been blessed to be able to sit under a lot of really cool learning trees and learn how to do shows the right way and promote shows the right way and help tell storylines and feature certain things.
It is just absolutely amazing. Always seeing these photos of you with the legends, or actually the recent ones I think you had was with Cal and Drake Maverick.
Yeah,
I saw those and I'm just like, man.
Yeah, well, I booked Drake back when he was Rockstar Spud, and he was in TNA, and we've been friends ever since. And he is, he's a great guy, great human being, extremely talented, and he's known Cal now for 5 years, and it's just fun watching Cal grow and Drake staying the same size. So they have their little thing going back and forth. But it's fun, and it's a cool experience, and I've been very blessed. I could say I'm lucky, but anyone can be lucky. I've been blessed because I've been able to work with my friends, make money with my friends, and do some really cool stuff along the way.
Yeah, no, definitely. And one of the great opportunities that you did was with the Super Friends Fan Fest, which was actually my first exposure to you guys. And I remember Chris and AJ from Spark Money. They kind of told me about this, and they told me about you. I'm like, okay, well, I'll kind of see what. So definitely.
And now technology is failing me. Jeez, it's like everything is telling us that this interview shouldn't happen. And
I tell you, that's been my luck lately. There's been a lot of kabuki things. I mean, even if you go back to Blizzard Brawl, I had 18 days to put that show together.
Really?
Yeah, 18 days. But going back to the Super Friends Fan Fest, it was cool. I mean, we had Mean Gene Okerlund there. We had Cowboy Bob Orton, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. We had Melina Perez. We had Thea Trinidad, who's now Zelina Vega. Tommaso Ciampa was there.
That was the biggest surprise for me, was that as I was just about to leave, I see him going in.
Yeah.
And at first I'm just like, who is this random dude that's just coming in here?
And
then as soon as I see like all the pictures and everything, like, oh shit, that's Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
And now he's one of the best things in NXT right now.
And you know what's funny is, when he was in Milwaukee, I wanted to book him on some of my shows, but I just couldn't afford me the budget that I'm like, now look at him. He's a freaking rock star,
And I don't know if you know this, he actually made a report that he was not planning on going to the roster. He wants to stay in NXT.
Yeah, well, of course. You know why? It's the best gig you can have.
It really
you know why?
is.
Because they cover all your travel and hotels, and there's no rental cars, and they cover all your meals. Why would you want to leave NXT? I mean, it's a sweetheart deal.
It's a fair point.
Yeah.
So you definitely did talk about Blizzard Brawl, and I think that's something I definitely do want to talk about because, 18 days to put together a show, that's insane. And you did a fantastic job of doing it.
Thank you.
But there was one issue that was going on throughout the entire night, and that was the microphones.
Yes.
So what happened during that deal? Was it just technical difficulties?
You know what? It was a brand new system that was in place, and bugs had to be worked out and whatever else. So I think we got it under control by now. So next year, Blizzard Brawl, December 5, 2020, it should be no problem at all. Yes.
Well, fingers crossed, everything. And I will say this: I give Marco Stunt a lot of credit for, working it almost as like a gimmick deal, where he's just like, check, mic check, and then he's like, okay, I found the sweet spot. And then when it was done, he's just like, you know what? I'm loud enough. I can make this announcement on here.
Yes.
So it's really cool to kind of see that. And biggest shock was seeing Ken Anderson in the main event.
Yeah.
That was something that I was not expecting.
No, I says, Ken, show up late, stay in the back, don't come out for nothing. And I thought the tribute to Umaga it gave me goosebumps when they were talking about what they were going to do. Mm-hmm. And it was very cool. I mean, Sefa Fatu, Jacob Fatu, two young stars in the making. And that's the one cool thing about Blizzard Brawl. Over the years, we've had Zelina Vega. We've had Gunner. Now he's Jackson Riker. DJ Zima Ion, who's now in NXT, 205 Live. Robbie E., Robert Strauss at NXT. EC3, we've had Rockstar Spud, who's now Drake Maverick. Scarlett Boudreau, she's now in NXT. Mm-hmm. Melanie Cruz, now in AEW. So there's been a lot of young stars, Silas Young even, And so, it's cool to see where we're headed with Blizzard Brawl and how certain people are going to that next level.
It definitely does show. And one of the things I definitely do admire that you do is that you do not just stick to one big city. You definitely do try to branch out to other different cities. And one city in particular, of course, here is
Merrill, Wisconsin.
Merrill, Wisconsin, which people say that's like in the butt crack of middle of nowhere.
It is in the middle of nowhere. And I'll be honest, I wonder, why do I come up here? But you know what? The fans are fantastic. They're great. They're supportive. We're still trying to build the brand up here to get a larger fan base. But I mean, we've done 3 shows. We've had Ken Anderson, we've had Al Snow, we've had Gangrel, we've had Hornswoggle, Baron Von Reschke, and now Roadwear Animal. That's some star power we've brought to Merrill, Wisconsin. Population 7.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And you also incorporate, the local talent as well as some other talent that people might know, which definitely gives it the variety that people would want to know. There's some people that are just like, well, who's this random person? Who's this random person? I just don't completely understand.
Exactly. His English was pretty solid, for a Norse guy.
Yeah, and it's crazy because one thing that I always love about these shows is the fact that these are wrestlers who do try to interact with the crowd, and they definitely do try to get people
behind them. That's what I tell everybody. Who are you working for? You're not working for your opponent. You're working for the crowd. They're the ones. And here's what I tell my son Cal this. I said, you have to motivate somebody to leave their couch, to hop in their car, to drive across town, to pay $20 to walk in the door, to sit on a chair they don't want to sit on next to somebody they don't want to know. Make them feel like they got their money's worth.
I mean, that's awesome. That is definitely the best way to put it.
Is.
It really is.
I don't want to leave my couch. Are you kidding me? I don't want to sit in those uncomfortable chairs. But if I'm going to be entertained and I feel like, I'm a part of something, then I'll definitely come.
So you've been doing this promotion deal for about
22 years.
22 years.
I'm old.
Well, first of all, mazel tov to you for reaching that many years of doing that. But obviously, it definitely seems like there is a legacy being put here in the Herro name, because you as a promoter is one thing. Now you have your son Cal working as a wrestler, and one of the things I loved was a news station put it like this, that a lot of people, when kids say like, I'm going to be a wrestler, some parents are just like, no, we don't want you to hurt yourself or get real. That's not going to happen. But you definitely have been one of the more supportive parents when it comes to that. So I definitely want to ask about this. Kind of walk us through like the day of him saying that he wanted to be a wrestler and how that kind of has...
He showed no interest whatsoever until about a year and a half ago. I was doing a bunch of shows down at Six Flags Great America, and the local talent I used, I was not happy with them at all. And Cal was sitting there with his buddy, Al Snow's son, Evan. I'm like, oh, we can do that. We can do just as good. I'm like, okay, prove it. Show me you can. So he started to go to camp, and I never in a million years thought my son would lace up the boots, put on tights, and come to the ring dancing to George Michael. And he loves it, and he's comfortable in the ring. I mean, he's grown up around it forever. And it's for me, it's fun to watch because he feels like somebody. Like he now feels like he has his own self-worth for him, not what other people think. And that's all you want as a parent. Like, do I want him to be a pro wrestler? If he does, sure. When I told him, I go, hey, kid, if in 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, you want to quit, by all means, you're done. Don't do this for me. I've already done my stuff. You find your own path and do what you want to do. So
I definitely noticed that, as time has gone on, he's gotten tremendously better. I think the first time I saw him was... I think it was the first Merrill show that was here, and I didn't know what to expect from him, but he was just, like you said, he was just live, he was energetic. He's definitely one of those...
owning his character right
now.
He
really is, and it's really cool to really see that. And as time went on, it's just like, I'm really starting to like this guy. Okay, I need to get myself a face back. I'm getting on the Cal Herro bandwagon now, and it's just absolutely awesome to really see that. But I do have to ask you this, because you've been doing this for so long. Was there ever an itch for you to actually get in the ring and wrestle yourself?
Oh, I have.
You have?
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
well, this is a story I want to hear.
I've had several matches over the years. I've wrestled a version of Doink the Clown many years ago. I was King Kong Bundy's tag team partner on Blizzard Brawl number 2. Then I wrestled Abyss in a Monsters Ball match, where if I lost back then, because my plan was when I wrestled Abyss, I was going to be done with wrestling. I was going to move on, go do other things. Abyss beat me, so I'm done. And Tommy Dreamer took over Blizzard Brawl House of Hardcore. He's like, well, you got to come back and get your heat back. So he put me in a cage match with Abyss.
Because why not?
Why not, of course. That's a great idea. So, I mean, of course. And it'd be cool maybe one day if I team with Cal down the road. But, I'm terrible at it. I'm not good. And I'm the first one to admit that. I'll use myself as an attraction because of the radio and TV that I've done. But, for me, I want him. It's his time right now, not mine.
That is really awesome, because I know that there's been a lot of legends that we've seen over the years that really do want to keep in the limelight. They want to stay relevant, and they do use their next generation.
When you come to my shows, you see me maybe once. Like at Blizzard Brawl, I started off the show. No one's buying a ticket to see me. You know what I mean? So I'll be behind the scenes. I'm watching things. I'll videotape Cal's match, or if people want me to watch a match, I'll watch it for them. But yeah, that's pretty much about it for me.
Nice. Well, I definitely do hear Mr. McCoy saying...
wrapping it up.
So I'll ask you this final question.
Sure.
But first of all, I definitely do want to say thank you, Dave, for your time. Thank you so much for being on here. And after finding out that Cal has a website, I definitely do want him on the show.
Yeah,
now.
Absolutely.
It's one of those things where it's like...
CalHero.com. Who would have thought, right? The fanny pack kid.
Right. So I will ask this. When it comes to you working as a promoter, what has been, some of the easier times, and what has been some of the more difficult times when it's come to being a promoter? What are some things that you can kind of pass down to people who want to follow in your footsteps, like some of the stuff that they should, accept, and what are some things that they should probably avoid?
Just be honest. If you're going to put on a show, give 110%. Because again, like I said, we're convincing people to leave their couch to spend $20 to sit on a hard folding chair. Give them their value. If you don't do that, they're not going to come back. And the hardest thing, I always feel like I don't do enough. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I had 18 days to fill up 1,100 people in a building. And even the day of, I'm like, what didn't I do? Even though I knew I did everything.
Right.
And you always got to try to outdo yourself every show because you want the next show to be better than the last one. 22 years, I've had a lot of shows where I always have to outdo the next one. So I'm already working on Blizzard Brawl 2020 because that has to now be better than Blizzard Brawl 2019. So, but yeah, for me that's it, and try to start the show on time and end on time because, there's kids there. They don't be out past 10 o'clock. We started at 7:30. We were done at 9:58. That was the plan.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, I think you did another fantastic job, and I'm looking forward to March 28th.
Yeah.
It's going to be coming back to Merrill, and you brought in a former Ring of Honor star to this.
Yeah, the Beer City Bruiser.
That is going to be absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch. I can't wait.
It is going to be awesome. So for Dave Herro, I've been NateFNGreat. You've been listening to the Game Changer podcast. I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Check us out on many podcasting formats, but also where can people find out how to get tickets to your guys' event?
It's super easy. BlizzardBrawl.com. Blizzard Brawl on Twitter, Blizzard Brawl on Instagram. Yeah, just go to BlizzardBrawl.com for all your GLCW needs.
Awesome. Well, see you guys.